Well, here we are, the Smuggler's Moon. It's the gaping maw of Nal Hutta, swallowing all the cargo and spaceport thugs the galaxy has to offer. Mandalorians, mercenaries, war veterans, and pilots from the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War ended up on Nar Shaddaa, from all sides of the conflict. When the last war ended, there was no place left for them to go.
Too many Mandalorians were scattered after the war, without purpose and without direction. Most became little more than raiders.
Nar Shaddaa's a rough place and easy to get lost in. Or for someone to get lost. If we wanted to keep out of sight from the Sith for a while, you couldn't pick a better spot. It means glorious jewel in Huttese, but don't let that fool you. It's the central breeding grounds of the Hutts. Nar Shaddaa orbits it. Nal Hutta's as slimy as the Hutts. Lots of swamp and bloated gas. It's where those slugs reach out and grab chunks of the galaxy. Trust me, we're not going to go anywhere near the place unless we want to be washing the stink out of our clothes for the next few years.
That bad? I didn't think anything could compel you to bathe.
You spend all day thinking up that joke? Maybe you and Beodur should start a circus.
I fail to understand the reference, though I doubt your explanation would prove worthwhile.
Yeah, some came looking for work running freight and cargo. Still, there's only so many ships to go around and so many workers, so others lend their weapons to the Hutts in the exchange. It's become a prime base for raider recruitment across the galaxy. It won't be easy. There's so much traffic on Nar Shaddaa. Finding anyone on the moon's surface is going to be hard. We're going to touch down in the refugee sector. There's a lot more traffic there, and it's harder for people to spot you coming in. Or find you once you arrive. Anyone flying the Star Lanes has docked on Nar Shaddaa at least once. I wouldn't want to live there, and I doubt anyone does by choice. Not everyone who came to Nar Shaddaa were soldiers. A lot of worlds were destroyed by the Mandalorians, and the Jedi. Left a lot of people wandering the galaxy. Shouldn't be too hard. There's so much traffic on Nar Shaddaa, finding anyone on the moon's surface is going to be hard. We're going to touch down in the refugee sector. There's a lot more traffic there, and it's harder for people to spot you coming in. Or find you once you arrive. I've plotted a course for the refugee sector, and we should touch down within the hour. Once we're down, we should finally be able to breathe easy. There's no way anyone's going to find us here.
Perhaps you have heard that the Jedi comes to Nar Shaddaa. While he walks upon the Smuggler's Moon, he is not to be harmed. You may watch him, observe his movements, but nothing more. You must, because one Jedi attracts others. It is the way of things.
Bomababe want to susitu karata. Tu es rectonatada beer mabar chokto. Torenibu inturata sisi me burokra.
Panisukakran, Joka mata storch ban locha. Joanna masaranka ma ramazurata. Kesa juskrita lorsa. Yumacha fuego mikujira.
Loka kamaran endoso ranwi no chabi. Du rantamana sobu. Febko emareyam ga watasitu insula rakarakachata. Tamaso kinchuda wanka. Mopi unawana si chukoratawa.
Request. If Goto's vessel is no longer neutral ground, inform us so that we might initiate assassination protocols and commence firing at once.
Tahupo boteño go yucho picha, cuentaba ni sochu, norotoga proto lalashishi, yuadosa jibacha, ratak mansan, tokosha nachitoro, jawana masaranka ma ramazurita, queso juscrita losa, yumacha fuego mikujira, kawanabota atagua kankadiwa, yutaka alwanji yumaliba, tu es mahawika si wawanta mo guika wansoba, wakama nurawa.
Observation. Jedi follow the self-destructive path of pacifism and tolerance. They will not attack first.
Honta no saka, jita bedwana maticha, tono tucha, tocha ramakaka musuran kana. Honta no saka, jita bedwana maticha, si machadana, dona we searcha makaran.
Ah, the beautiful stench and decay of desperate living.
This moon, it teems with life. It is difficult to center oneself.
Never have I been to a place so alive with the Force, yet so dead to it. The contrast is like a blade.
Welcome to Nar Shaddaa. Towering buildings kilometers high and miles deep, with canyons so wide you could have a dogfight in them. Word of warning, watch where you step, or you'll fall for hours. Maybe a little, but landing here means we didn't have to transmit our ID signature. You know what trouble that always brings. In fact, while we're here, we should get those signatures changed. Wouldn't make us such a target when we enter a new system. No, but I forgot to tell them we were landing. The refugee sector's a dead zone. No one cares too much who flies in and out of here as long as they're not carrying cargo that the exchange or the Hutts might want a piece of. Yeah, in all its glory. Don't get your hopes up from what you see here, though. As soon as we hit the main sector, that's when the smell and the mobs can get pretty bad. All right then, let's move out. Where are we headed exactly?
It does not matter where we go. If what we seek is here, we shall come upon it in due time.
Yeah, if you want to stay on the ship and meditate some more, don't let us stop you.
Finding a Jedi, or anyone else touched by the Force here, will be difficult. The mass of people, the rush of their emotions. It makes detection difficult, but this moon does not get any smaller while we wait. This sector is as good as any place to begin our search, so let us begin.
Well, if we're gonna search a moon of a few billion inhabitants for one Jedi that even our own can't sense, might as well start as soon as possible. Alright, if you have any questions, just ask. We should be able to leave the ship here as long as we want. No one supervises these landing pads anymore.
You there!
Uh-oh.
What's with you? Letting that piece of junk sink its struts into my landing pad! Yeah? Well, it's the first I've heard of it. Tell you what, let me check it out. If you're cleared, then you're clear. No trouble. Well, don't let me hold you up then. I gotta tell you though, I got another one of your ships docking here within an hour. I'm not sure what to tell them.
finally decided to let me take a look at your circuitry.
Answer: indeed I did. I hope you understand how difficult it is for me to trust a meatbag with something as delicate as my inner mechanics. Explanation: our encounters with my copies has convinced me that I should look into upgrading my capabilities in order that I may be able to destroy them with greater impunity.
Worried you might be going obsolete? I understand.
Objection? Nothing of the sort. I am programmed to improve my capabilities if it will improve my chances of destroying a target, even as unsavory an avenue as this.
You don't have to suffer on my account. Maybe you are better off not letting me dig around in you.
Retraction. You must understand, my previous interactions with meatbags have rarely been pleasant. Disclosure. After all, most of those meetings involved the termination of said meatbags.
It obviously couldn't have been your charming personality. Now, if you want me to see if I can upgrade your functionality, just let me get to work on you.
Answer: in that case, please go ahead. Just be careful not to damage any of my delicate parts. Analysis. My self-diagnostic indicates that my performance has indeed been improved. Also, many of my systems are reporting improved efficiency. Commentary. I am most pleased with this turn of events. It would appear that my initial analysis of your mechanical abilities was incorrect.
You're welcome.
No! Look, you can't keep us trapped in the refugee sector. We can't survive there. You've got us locked in.
More where that came from. More where that came from.
Thanks for your help. They would have crippled me for sure. If you save me to cripple me again, then you're worse than they are. What do you want with me? Well, they work for the Exchange, for a Quarren named Visquis. He's looking to step up in the Exchange. The only language the Exchange respects is money, so Visquis is trying to increase his profits by using the refugees here in Nar Shaddaa as a cheap labor force. We're only good to him as slaves and merchandise. He wants to keep us in one place, so he can control us. That's always been the way. Well, except lately. The Exchange has been clamping down on the refugee sector hard, and I've no idea why. They started kidnapping people, hurting others, but there seems to be no reason to it. You don't. He comes to you, if he's got reason to. Either because you can help him out, or because you're making trouble. Either way, it's not a good thing. Whatever your reasons, thanks.
Spare a few credits, friend? All right. I don't know much beyond the refugee sector here, but I can share what I know. This sector's filled with refugees from the Jedi Civil War, and even as far back as the Mandalorian Wars. Refugees and war veterans both, and anyone else who was rendered homeless by the war. The Jedi destroyed planets across the galaxy, and here's where the wreckage ended up. That's two names for one thing. It's difficult to tell in the crossfire, and the Sith were led by Jedi. In the end, it didn't make much difference. A lot of space lanes cross at Nar Shaddaa, and once here, it's hard to move on. Even fighter pilots from the war can't get work at the docks. The freighter crews are full up. There's no work here and no way out, unless you want to become a hired muscle for the exchange, or work in a Hutt slave camp. Jedi Master? There aren't any Jedi Masters in the galaxy, let alone on Nar Shaddaa. This place is a cesspit, with the exchange and the Hutts stabbing their claws into everything. But you know, I did hear something about a bounty on Jedi, though. Something the exchange posted. Doesn't matter, though. Aren't any more Jedi around, so no one's going to be collecting that bounty. You're lying, or mad. A Jedi wouldn't come to the... You're no Jedi. You're something else. I can tell it just by looking at you. I don't know why you're here, but I fear for this place. And everyone on it. I have to go.
I saw what you did to those exchange thugs, stranger. Can you spare a few credits, maybe help another refugee in need?
Forgive me, stranger, please. I beg you, do not kill me.
Why did you do such a thing? Giving into your feelings over such a small matter? They would be better served elsewhere. And what would you rather do? The Force binds all things. The smallest push, the smallest touch, sends echoes throughout life. These acts of cruelty may have more severe repercussions than you know, or can see. Indeed, listen, feel the echo. Cruelty leads to suffering, and when one suffers, it is the way of life to spread suffering. The suffering within builds until its sound is all one hears. And when a kindness is offered, it is punished. And a greater darkness is served. From one act can come tremendous power when the echo has traveled as far as it can. Send a great echo, and power will come to you. The day shall come when you can test your strength, I promise you.
And what did he want?
Just answers to some questions. Asked about a Jedi Master of all things.
Really? Interesting.
What do you want? I've got nothing to tell you.
Geraktada cemense bengaru rukutoto unde chuchamataso benkisha manensetse. Fela dibono ta munikranakada. Terewana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rento ron kawre kare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemeno totorere senisensen. Charanana gundoso remina che l'orakto guru kattada. Fiavra tora pada no ringa tel camarada tel fibu numbu da bitarana cenirara. Terewana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rento ron kawre kare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemeno totorere senisensen.
Sullistan's hearing's pretty sharp, if you couldn't guess from the lobes.
Geraktada cemense bengaru rukutoto unde chuchamataso benkisha manensetse. Fela dibono ta munikranakada. Charanana gundoso remina che l'orakto guru kattada. Fiavra tora pada no ringa tel camarada tel fibu numbu da bitarana cenirara.
Big Ears here might know someone who can change the Ebon Hawk's ID signature. Could be useful for avoiding notice.
Terewana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rento ron kawre kare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemeno totorere senisensen. Terewana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rento ron kawre kare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemeno totorere senisensen. Der rento ron to wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan korsada nane gra dall'onuta choloren. Charanana gundoso remina che l'orakto guru kattada. Fiavra tora pada no ringa tel camarada tel fibu numbu da bitarana cenirara. Ona jun senisensen drawice canel commercio tel fibu nolot.
The bounty hunters have been laying low recently, like they're waiting for something.